portrait bust Bernini ever made was a commission. Popes, cardinals, kings. Men who paid him to be remembered. That was the arrangement. That was how his entire career worked. There is one exception. One bust with no patron, no payment, no commission. A woman carved from marble because Bernini wanted to carve her. He made it in 1636. 2 years later, he sent a servant to her house with a razor. The bust is still there. The scar it preceded is not. The bust is in the Bargello Museum in Florence. Marble, life-size. Her hair is loose. Her chemise falls open at the neckline. Her lips are parted. Her eyes look slightly to the side, at something just out of frame. Every portrait bust of the period showed its subject composed, formal. The face a person chose to show the world. This one shows a woman who did not choose. Art historian Simon Schama described it as the sexiest invitation in the history of European sculpture. He was not describing a pose Costanza selected. He was describing what Bernini chose to show. A woman caught in a private moment she did not know was being recorded in stone. Look at the lips. Every marble bust before this one showed a closed mouth. Parted lips require carving the space between them, the shadow inside, the suggestion of breath. The margin for error is almost nothing. Bernini carved them open anyway, mid-breath, not posed, caught between one moment and the next. Fulvio Testi, a friend of Bernini's, saw the finished bust in October 1637 and described it in a letter as the most beautiful portrait Bernini had ever created. That letter is the first documented record of the bust's existence, written 1 year before everything that followed. Biographer Franco Mormando in Bernini, His Life and His Rome, documents what happened in summer 1638. Bernini discovered Costanza, wife of his assistant Matteo Bonarelli, was also sleeping with his brother Luigi. He chased Luigi through Rome with a sword, then sent a servant to Costanza's house with a razor. Pope Urban VIII fined him 3,000 scudi, then waived the fine. The servant was jailed. Costanza arrested for adultery. Luigi exiled. The man who ordered the attack was encouraged to marry someone else. Costanza was not a servant or a model. She was a member of the Piccolomini family of Siena, a noble family that included 2 popes and the patron of Galileo. She was approximately 22 when Bernini, in his late 30s, began an affair with her while her husband worked in his studio. He described himself as fieramente innamorato, wildly in love. He carved her face in marble during those years, while her husband worked downstairs. After the attack, Costanza remained married to Matteo until his death. The Bargello Museum records they became prosperous enough to build their own art collection. Costanza Bonarelli, whose face Bernini ordered disfigured, became an art dealer in Rome. She outlived him by 18 years. The bust appears in no commission record. It was not displayed, not documented until Testi's letter. At some point it left Bernini's possession and entered the Medici collection. By 1677, it was listed in a Medici inventory. Bernini never mentioned it publicly. His son, Domenico, who wrote his biography, did not include it. The only portrait he ever made for himself does not appear in the official account of his life. What does appear is the fine for attempted homicide and the papal pardon that followed. Here is where the bust becomes two different objects. The first reading. The bust is the purest work Bernini ever made, the only one free from patronage and politics, made for no reason except that he wanted to. In this reading, the open lips and loosened chemise are evidence of intimacy, the most honest portrait in Baroque sculpture. The second reading starts from what came 2 years later. The parted lips were not her choice. The moment frozen in marble was not one she selected. And the bust itself, made while her husband worked in the same building, was already a kind of possession before the razor arrived. If you accept the first, you are looking at the most intimate portrait in the history of Baroque sculpture. If you accept the second, you are looking at the first object in a sequence that ended with a woman's face being cut. The marble has not changed. The question of which came first, the devotion or the violence, is one the bust has been refusing to answer since 1637. The lips are still parted. The chemise is still open. Costanza recovered, built a business, a collection, a life. The only portrait Bernini made for himself, the one absent from his son's biography, the one with no commission, is the one that ends with someone else paying the price. Drop your reading in the comments. I read every one.